those, so it's not in your handbook and it's not in the actual VIN plate on the Caravan. So it's another week at the Caravan place, and we've just had the NEC show. So last week or so has been the NEC, and good indications from the NEC, some sort of very positive comments coming from the NEC show. Swift actually saying that they've had the best show since 2009, so that's interesting to hear. It does seem as though we've got quite a lot of people that are still getting into the market. I think some people may have been put off, more so probably with the motorhomes than the Caravans, but delivery times I think has held sort of some of the new motorhomes back. But again, some of the Caravan manufacturers are just a little bit better on delivery times, but again, some makes and models are just that little bit longer. But on the whole, some promising. I didn't expect it to probably be as good news from the NEC show as what there has been, so that's interesting to hear. So that's going to be interesting to see what difference that makes, because again, normally just after the NEC we'll get quite a few people coming through that have been to look at there. They've either not been able to get what they've wanted, or they've seen the prices, and I've heard that quite a bit of what the brand new prices have been, and people have been a little bit disappointed or shocked. So I don't know which way best to say, but interesting to see that still people have been buying, and I think we will start to see a through of new people that have either gone there. We had somebody in the comments on the last week's video that sort of said they'd gone with all intents and purposes to buy a motorhome and were really shocked by, firstly, the prices, and then secondly, delivery times. So I think it's all going to help the used market a little bit more as well, and it's quite nice to see that we've still got a lot of people that had bought Caravans over COVID, and they're not all sort of selling off and having a big worry. Part exchange that we've just had come in that I'm sort of showing you around at the minute. Nice big family Caravan. Again, I think I'd mentioned last week, this is going to be sort of things that we're really trying to get in. We've got a real good price range, a good mix of prices at the moment. Another one that's just come in part exchange, a really nice little 2007 Swift Charisma 535. A nice lightweight 4-berth fixed bed. We're only 1300 kilos, 1090 as it stands here now. So a nice little, either for a 2-berth or for a family. So again, combined shower and toilet on the side. So cracking little starter van for somebody. It's been well looked after. It's not been knocked around. So again, we're trying to get a few more of the Part X's sort of in. We're going to be doing hints and tips again towards the end of this video, and we're going to be looking at just more checks again. We're going to be looking at tyres this week. We're going to be looking at the Alde central heating, so if you've got that central heating system, things just to double check before the winter, and again, more just general checks that you're going to want to be doing. Quite a few vans that we're just sort of getting in. We've got a video that we're going to be doing on this one. It's got a crack on the front panel, so we're going to be doing a plastic repair video, so that's going to be coming up. We've just done a EMP self-leveling system video, so that is going to be coming up over the next week or so. So quite a few different videos coming out, as well as our sort of update weekly, keeping an eye on the market. I'm just looking for a van that's got the Alde central heating in, which typically all the ones that I'm coming to at the moment haven't got it. So I'm just trying to find one of these, and again, it's just literally just checking So we've got one. Just checking your level. So if you've got the Alde central heating, in the wardrobe we should have our header tank like this one. So we're going to want to check our level, and we're also going to want to double check how much Alde fluid that we've got. Now hopefully you can see we've got a minimum mark and we've got a maximum mark. Now when the Caravan's not being used, we're going to want that fluid pretty much there, around about that minimum mark, because as it warms up and as it starts using, it's going to then move up to the maximum level on there. So that is absolutely perfect. A lot of people might think that that's a little bit low, but as the heating system warms up, the fluid in there will expand and then it will move up more towards the maximum. So in the unused position, that is going to be exactly where we want to see that level. So with your antifreeze fluid that we've now checked, now all of the newer Caravans should be fitted with the pink fluid, and the pink fluid is good for 5 years. They did do a blue fluid, and it does look like this one might have the blue fluid in there, to be honest. So that needs changing after every 2 years, and it should always be changed then with the pink 5-year fluid. Now there's a couple of ways to be able to test your actual fluid as well. On the servicing, that they'll normally do is they'll check it with a hydrometer, and I think the reading is about -35 when they check that. But another way that you can do a little check actually yourself at home is either with a pH strip. Now I think the readings for the pH strip should be around about 7 or 8 for the used antifreeze. So if you just get some of the cheap pH strips with a little pipette, you can get some of the fluid out, or you can drain some off of if you've got a radiator somewhere, or a little drain point on your Alde central heating to be able to get the fluid out. Or as I say, just trying to either get a straw in there, hold the top of the straw and then take that out and just get a bit of the liquid. The other test that you can do is, if you don't want to go to the expense of getting the pH strips, is actually smelling the fluid. So literally just get over the top and give the fluid a bit of a smell. Now if you've got a fishy smell or a sort of a vinegar type smell, chances are your fluid is going to need to be changed. And that is a little test that you can just do yourself at home without having to go and buy pH strips or anything like that. So it's just a little test that you can do, and just literally just smelling it just to make sure that there's no sort of fishy smell or a vinegar sort of smell. And again, and just making sure all of your pipes are actually working when the system is on. So just making sure that it's putting the heat through on all of the systems, front and back. And again, just some little checks that you can do just before you put the Caravan away for the winter, because obviously if you've either got no fluid in the system or it's not got any of the antifreeze in, it could cause you problems over the winter. Now our next check this week is on our tyres. So again, if you're putting the Caravan away for the winter, we're going to want to be checking our tyre pressures first of all, and also the date of our tyres. We want to make sure that the pressures are correct, if not over inflated very, very slightly. And the reason for that is the Caravan's going to probably be sitting there if you're not using it. And again, if you are using it, normally by the time you've used it quite a few times throughout the season, you're going to want to be just double checking those tyre pressures now again if you're going to use it through the winter, because again the cold will have an effect on the tyres, same as with the heat through the summer. So a couple of ways that we can check on what pressures they should be. Either actually in your handbook, on the little weight plate on the side of the Caravan. So our little weight plate just on here on this one says our tyre should be at 65 psi. If you've got none of those, so it's not in your handbook and it's not in the actual VIN plate on the Caravan. And again, something else just to note while we're going on about that is making sure that the actual tyres are the correct tyres for the Caravan. So these are 185/14s, so just making sure in the handbook that that is the size of the tyre that should be fitted, and then this tyre is the same as the other side, so that both tyres on your Caravan are matching. You should then have lots of writing all the way around the side, but you should have a little box that looks like this, and it should be, in theory, on the outside of the tyre. But that's not always the case. Sometimes this little box with our 4-digit numbering isn't always on the outside like it should be. So it might be a case of having to try and crawl underneath the Caravan with a torch and having a good look around for this. Now, what this actually means is that the tyres were produced on the 20th week of 2017. Now, if our tyres are coming up to 5 years, so it's 2022 now, so they're just coming up to 5 years, so realistically we need to be replacing these tyres. If it's your own Caravan and you're checking the Caravan this time of year and you're not going to use it over the winter, I would say wait until January, February, March next year, just before you're going to use the Caravan. Don't go wasting any money now buying new tyres, fitting them now, letting them sit over a winter, because you've just lost 6 months of use of your new tyres. But if you're going to use the Caravan, have a real good look at the tyres for cracking. I would possibly say that it's worth removing the actual tyre off of there and having a good check all in the treads, because the 20th week of 2007 were right on that 5 years. So unless you knew exactly when these tyres were fitted, and this is where the sort of the recommendation between 5 and 7 years comes in. If you had these tyres fitted and you knew that they were already 2 years old when they were fitted, which happens quite a lot, so when you have new tyres fitted, just double check the date on those and make a note of them, because a lot of the Caravan tyres used to be a good 12 months out of date or in date, so they were produced 12 months prior, before they were actually fitted to the Caravan. So that's why we normally say between 5 and 7 years. We want the Caravan tyres to be not fitted and stood here for any more than 5 years. But if you sort of says, well, actually, I had these fitted and they were already 2 years old when they were fitted, so I'm pretty safe, I'm pretty well aware that I've got another year or so on these tyres. So just something to keep in mind. But if you don't, you want to be working off the 5 years, and you want to be having a real good look around for cracking on the sidewall. So you want to be making sure that there's no damage, no cracking, no signs that they're going to be causing you a problem very quickly. If it is the case that you're going to put it away, as I say, it's pointless having the tyres changed now. I'd wait until next season and then have new tyres fitted on. If you sort of got if you're thinking about going away over the winter and your tyres are on that 5 years, then really you want to be removing them and having a real good look in the tread, all on the sidewalls, and making sure that all of the tyres are in real good condition, because once they get to that 5 year stage, there's more of a chance that you're going to have a problem with that tyre, and blowouts, etc. is going to become a lot more likely. Hopefully there's been a good couple of tips there for you this week. Watch out for next week's video again, because we're going to have more tips in that one. Again, getting ready for the winter. We've got sort of draining down tips coming up, just general maintenance tips. We've got a video coming up that is hopefully going to save you money on campsites next year potentially, so that's going to be a good video to look out for. Thanks for watching. I'm Mark at the Caravan Place.